mis amores, welcome back to another episode. It's episode 8, Alma y Corazon. You're listening to myself, Abbie Knights, and the lovely ladies.
Hola, hola, mi gente. Lornalitz Baez here.
And hola, my name is Ariel Yasmine.
For those of you that are just tuning in for the first time, make sure you go back and listen to all the episodes because it's a whole journey with us. We're taking you guys on a journey. So here it's all about positivity. It's a safe space, and it's a great space to talk about anything and everything. So that being said, today it's all about finding the right balance between heart and mind. And Lord knows I could have used using my mind more often throughout my life and my life decisions, but that's a whole nother story. So let's dive into some cool, fun facts. I don't know if I'm the only person that's ever looked into this, but I thought it was really cool. So I'm like, listen, drum roll, please. Brrr. Did you guys know that your heart can keep beating even if it's separate from your body? Did you guys know that?
Oh, that is crazy. I've seen it in movies.
Ariel's face.
Kind of weird.
She's like, what are you talking about?
What kind of government experiment did that? How was this discovered?
It's a muscle.
Whose heart was this?
Your heart's a muscle. So basically it's going to be, like if it's separated from your body.
I mean, it makes sense. You can give it like an electric shock or a pulse, or whatever, then it'll start doing whatever. But I'm like, how did they find this out? Like, whose heart were they like, hey, do you mind like when you die, we'll just like take your heart and experiment on it? That sounds really fun.
Heart transplant or something. Yeah. They're like, okay, let's get this heart in this heart.
I cannot. Well, there's that. If anybody knows the answer to how an external beating heart was discovered, please let us know. Ariel needs answers like ASAP. Okay?
I feel like they're like, the heart wants what it wants, and my heart wants to experiment on your heart.
Yeah, I don't know how I'd feel about that. That'd be a little bit, I don't know, questionable for sure. So the next one is your heartbeat changes. I thought this one was really cool. And it mimics music. Did you guys know about that? I thought that was so
crazy.
Cool.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That is so cool. So like when I'm hearing reggaeton, like my
really
heart's
cool.
like going with the beat.
Like doom da da doom da doom da da doom da doom da da doom da. Right. I wonder if that's really what it does. What do you think, Ariel? So like if you're listening to house, does your heart go like unts, 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 unts? That'd be kind of weird.
It makes sense, because I'm like, okay, I know I've got a soul. I don't know if the soul's in there somewhere, and no, that makes sense. Makes sense. Like I can see it.
So
what happens with like hard metal?
Oh my
or, like,
god!
Christian music,
You probably go into a coma or something. I don't know. There's a lot going on with that.
What happens with Cardi B? Like, what does your heart do to Cardi B?
It gets down.
It gets ratchet.
It starts twerking, like
starts twerking inside your chest. Also, your heart pumps blood. Get this, through more than 60,000. You heard that right. 60,000 miles of blood vessels, and the heart beats over 100,000 times a day. Like,
yeah, I heard about that.
What? 100,000 times a day. Ariel, can you imagine how tired it makes me tired just thinking about it. Like, who wants to sit here and be like thinking about how their heart is literally like,
I need a nap.
Boom, boom, boom. 100,000 times a day. Like, I can find a lot of better things to do in my day. Okay, so that's just my opinion on that. I'm gonna stick to it. It's my story, and just like the TikTok thing where it's like, that's my man, and I'm gonna stick beside him. So that's my story. I'm sticking beside it. That's where I'm at with that. So, ladies, all that being said, today's topic is all about finding the right balance between your heart and your mind. So In life, do you think it's more important to lead with your heart or with your mind? Dun dun dun. You like my sound effects? Dun, dun, dun. They're so bad.
I think it depends, Abbie.
Yeah, so, I'm like trying to think. I'm like,
It depends on the situation. So, like, if it's something like a dream of yours and, you know, like something you want to pursue in your life and your mind is telling you maybe that you shouldn't because you're doubting yourself, but your heart's like, you should do it. Like, I would say follow your heart. But if it's like a relationship and your heart is like, oh my God, I'm so in love with him, I don't want to leave him, but the relationship is toxic, and your mind is like, girl, you need to leave him because of X, Y, and Z, then you should follow your mind. So it really depends on the situation.
Am I the only one that's been sitting here the whole time you've been talking, thinking of remixing the R. Kelly song? Like, my heart's telling me no, but my mind telling me yes, baby.
Oh my God.
That is where we're at with things. Listen, I don't know how I feel about R. Kelly anymore, but his music definitely was undeniable. But it's all I've been thinking about pretty much the whole time that we've been sitting here talking about this. I mean, I think my problem in my life personally is that I've always been the type of person to make more decisions with my heart than with my mind. And that is probably the root of a majority of the problems that I made when I've made bad decisions. I actually came across a video yesterday that I think I had sent you, Lornalitz, about a man that was saying that every decision that people make as individuals and as humans, right, come from emotional based decisions. Because when you think with your emotions, you're not as rational. So what do you think about that? That definitely blew my mind for a second, because then I had to go back and I had to like think about it a little bit. And when I thought about it, I was like, dang, I really feel like he was right. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? Let's not all go at once.
That's true.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, usually with any kind of situation I have, if it's something a little more heavy, I give myself time to take it in, and then I think about it. So I can have my emotional response in the beginning, which that's always my initial response, and then I'll give myself time and think about it and be like, okay, what is actually best for me in the end? How will I feel depending on each decision I make? You know? So I'm a Libra, so maybe it's a Libra thing. But like I like to weigh out the possibilities and like what is best for me. So with my decisions, I usually try to take as much time as I can, depending on what it is. So I can just really do what feels right in my heart, and then what I have most peace with in the end. But yeah, I think that emotional reactions are definitely what comes first.
I think that Ariel is one of the most logical, most methodical young ladies I have ever met in my whole entire life. She is like, I wish I could have been like you at your age. Because don't get me wrong, I've always been really mature for my age. But like, dang, the way she processes her thoughts. Listen, for you guys that don't know, I don't know, are you okay with telling people your age, Ariel? I'm about to put you on blast.
Yeah.
She is 22, you guys.
Or Google it.
Google her, okay? First of all, Google her, big.
I'm just kidding. But I turned 23 in October. And so, yeah, I feel older. But,
what? Like, who
like,
thinks...
Oh, wait, I'm turning 23.
Lornalitz, listen.
Yeah.
Did you think like this when you were 22? Because I'm going to tell you right now, this right here was not thinking like that at the age of 22. That's all I got to say. I mean, I wish I could say I did, but I don't.
I kind of was, only because, like, I was around people that were older than me. and I tend to like date older. So I was definitely a little more mature for my age. So yeah, I was kind of like Ariel at 22.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I was never the type that was like out here just partying or anything like that. But I mean, that's a lot of I was gonna say a lot of common sense. But that's a lot of deep thinking and critical thinking to do at such a young age, in my opinion. Anyway, so
well, I mean,
Thank you.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of 22-year-olds out there that are opinionated and that are educated. So I don't know. I feel a little different about that.
she said, "Checkmate, Abby. First of all, I don't agree," and that's how I feel about that.
One flaw I do see though with people in my general age bracket is that a lot of them just get all their education from social media and they don't actually Google things for themselves. I think it's really healthy to question things that you see on the internet, you know? So like if you see something in the news, you're like, oh, really? Are they saying that? And there's a lot of fake things going on, and there's a lot of stuff that's just like it's not telling both sides of the story, and so I always like to like research things. So I do feel like that's a flaw with just a lot of people that are growing up online is like they see stuff like, oh no, this is true, and they just roll with it, you know.
I'm really confused though because I'm like, wait, education on social media? Like, we got a big problem in the
I
world
know.
if you're
Crazy.
getting your
Oh my
education
God,
from
that's
social
the
media
times that we're
platforms.
living in.
I know, but think about it. I mean, I'm like, well,
But it's a real thing.
I don't watch TV anymore. Like, I don't watch TV anymore. A lot of like news and stuff I get can be posted through like different social media accounts, or like a lot of people go like Twitter or TikTok, or they see stuff on Instagram. Because yeah, I mean, I haven't had normal cable in a while, so I usually will go to whoever's like social media platforms and see it through there. So yeah,
I get what you're saying. She's like, so
kind of.
yeah. I mean, who has cable anymore? I haven't had cable in a long time.
I don't.
I use digital everything, Roku TV, Fire Stick this, I mean Netflix that. So I can totally understand that. I mean, for you ladies, do you, or I guess I should say, how do you find the right balance in love and in life? Do you think there's a downside to making decisions with your heart? Because, I mean, I'm guilty of that. So I don't know. What about you guys?
I'm definitely guilty of that too. I don't know. It's really hard. I think I'm still learning how to try to find a balance between my heart and, you know, it's still a learning process for me.
And your mind.
I do love heart.
I do.
I
Me
love
too.
heart.
I love too. Like, I'm definitely a big girly girl. I'm not even gonna lie. So, what about you, Ariel?
I do like I just like I don't know I kind of just weigh everything out. Like I mean the thing is I'm like whatever's meant to happen will happen. And so if I have a really strong emotional response, it's because it's real and that's just what I'm meant to do then. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I do usually just take my time with it though, depending on what it is. I'm like, what is best for me? What is best for the people around me? How is it going to affect me in the end? And that's it.
I'm not gonna lie. I used to be really impulsive with my decision making. I've changed a lot, and I've improved that. Thank God, because making impulsive decisions is not really conducive to living a healthy, balanced life. That's all I gotta say. Not with your credit card, not with your heart, not with your life decisions. It's not good. But I think that understanding what that balance looks like for you as an individual can make all the difference in the world, or at least I don't know, I feel like that's my opinion on it personally. I mean, that's how I look at it anyway. So
it's a tough topic because it's like still a learning process for me, you know. Like I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
this whole love thing.
I'm still trying to find this whole love thing. So the DMs are not wide open. Right. We need to learn from Ariel. Like, did we miss something in the learning curve? Lornalitz, because I feel like I don't know. I feel like the world's trying to tell us something. So I mean, because for me, I definitely do struggle with parts of that a little bit because I'm a really caring and kind person, and so I really like to take into consideration the way other people feel about things or how my actions or reactions would make somebody feel.
Yeah.
But how would you guys define your relationship, yourself, with your heart and your mind? Do you think that having an imbalance between both of them can create chaos in your life decisions or your experiences in any way, or no?
What do you think, Ariel?
She passing the baton. She's passing the baton.
I think it's good to have a healthy balance and to make sure you don't neglect one side either, because you don't want to turn into like a robot that's only logical, but then you don't want to be overly emotional and, you know, do some things without thinking. So I think it's good to nourish both sides and do what you think is best, because, you know, because it'll affect your in-person relationships, it'll affect your work relationships, just how overall like productivity is. And yeah, and it's good to be emotional too, because I feel like, because like sometimes, you know, a lot of people are kind of desensitized. It's always good to be feeling and loving, and honest about it too.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I do feel like, just to piggyback on what Ariel just said, like that nurturing and not neglecting. So I think that's important as well. But for me, I feel like it's kind of hard because I am like, I love really hard, but then I'm also pretty opinionated. So I have to find the balance of like how to convey what I'm thinking and feeling, and but keeping in mind like respecting the other person. And I'm talking about relationship with someone, not like a work thing. So you know, like communication is a big part of it, on both sides.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. I think you said something really important in that statement too. You said neglect, and I think a lot of people don't ever stop to think about that part, because neglecting that balance can create a lot of chaos in your life. And so, I mean, we've talked about this before. I'm all about keeping things peaceful in my life, because we've all had different life experiences, but I feel like that's essential regardless of where you're at, to keep things in a good, positive, constant flowing and progressing state, right? Nobody wants to wake up in the morning and just deal with nothing but problems. Because if you have stress and you have problems in your regular life with finances, bills, regular problems, the last thing you need is added stress to that. So I think I think those are all really good points, you know, and I hope that people that are listening in today kind of feel the same way about that too, because I think it's a really important, essential conversation for people to have, especially when you're in a relationship. I mean, I wouldn't know about that because I've been single for a minute, but like, I'm just saying. I think it's probably what makes the most sense.
I agree for sure.
So on that note, everybody, we love to sit here and chat with you guys all day long, but we got to get to our balance, okay, of this thing called life, work and responsibilities. And so we will be back here, same place, same time, but we do love hearing from you. We love to hear your thoughts and your opinions on what we've discussed on each episode. And so definitely, please feel free to hit us up. You can find us on Instagram at MIYA Podcast, or you can hit us up individually. We'll be dropping the handles below right here. So on that note, we will see you guys next week. Same place, same time, not type, same time. So be safe, you guys. Os queremos mucho. Hasta la próxima. Bye.
Adiós.